Hey everybody, it's Beerdy here. What's going on, guys? Okay, so today it's the video you've all been asking for: Bruce Lee's diet and workout regiment. Okay, so before we start on his regiment, we have to talk about his diet because that's a really important part of his workout. So previously, I've told you guys that he ate mostly rice and chicken, and that's true, but he had a varied diet too. He took supplements and vitamins, etc. And today I'm going to cover everything. So, yeah, his main staple was chicken and rice, but he also ate beef and oysters or oyster sauce. He ate shrimp with chicken and tons of vegetables. And he was a big fan of soy sauce, tofu, etc., even soybeans. And he would mix this with rice, noodles, and vegetables. And he would eat 5 meals a day, so 5 smaller meals a day, just like me. So I emulated this diet of Bruce Lee's when I was doing my Bruce Lee experiment. So I would eat exactly what Bruce would eat, and my main meal was rice and chicken. And throughout the day, I would eat 5 or 6 or 7 small meals: rice, noodles, vegetables, tofu, shrimp. Once a week, Bruce Lee would eat liver. So once a week, he would eat liver. So I ate liver too. And he also was a fan of steaks, but he didn't eat all that much red meat. Once in a while, he would eat a steak. And he would mix this with shrimps and rice and vegetables and a bit of tofu. And also, Bruce Lee ate a lot of fruit. He would eat fruits throughout the entire day. I don't know how many fruits, but in his own diary, he said that he would eat fruits. And the sources of all of this information is a mix. It's his own diary, it's information from his wife, from his friends, the people that knew him, the people he worked out with, that he actually saw him eat this stuff. Um, a lot of it come from his own personal diary. So yeah, and he was a big fan of these smoothies. He would actually put egg in the smoothies and wheat, so wheat protein, wheat germ, and he would mix all of that with fruit and vegetables, and he would drink that every day. And remember, guys, Bruce Lee was a pioneer of this stuff, like making a protein shake that was unheard of back in these days. I mean, he was doing this in back in the 60s, you know? So, yeah, he would drink tons of black tea. I'm too a huge fan of black tea, so I drink a lot of black tea myself. And Bruce Lee drank a lot of black tea, and he used a lot of ginseng in his food, and he actually used bee honey, and he was a big fan of all types of honeys. He thought that honey had a very good medicinal usage, so he was a big fan of honey. And Bruce Lee did take vitamins. He took vitamin C pills, he took magnesium pills, he used bee pollen extract, and he would have a complex of multivitamins that he used. He used rose hip, and he had a vitamin A and a vitamin E complex that he took too. And he actually used a complete protein pill. Back in those days, they didn't have the protein powder we have today. They had like this branched chain amino acid protein pills that the astronaut would use. They actually used them in the Apollo missions, and in the 70s, they were available to regular people like Bruce Lee. So he would actually take those protein pills. And so, yeah, as you can see, Bruce Lee was a big fan of protein pills and supplements and varied food sources and medicinal honey. And yeah, he was a true pioneer in this stuff because back in the 60s and 70s, no one was using this stuff. I mean, the professional bodybuilders, yeah, some of them use this stuff, but just a regular person like Bruce Lee or a martial artist back in those days, it was unheard of. So someone like a world champion like Chuck Norris back in those days didn't even touch this stuff. So this was unheard of back in those days. So Bruce Lee was a true pioneer when it comes to using all of this stuff. Some of this stuff he actually invented a lot of these complexes that bodybuilders actually started using back in those days. So he was a true pioneer even in bodybuilding. So back in those days, like the people like Arnold that were like the best of the best, they actually learned a lot from Bruce Lee because all of his experiments that he did with mixing like vitamin E and A and bee honey and rose hip and all of that stuff that made the muscles more toned and the energy metabolism was very important for Bruce Lee. So that's why he ate small meals all through the day. That was something the bodybuilders learned from Bruce Lee because if you eat big meals, you bulk too much, and Bruce Lee didn't want to bulk too much. He wanted lean muscles. So I mean, this guy was something else. So yeah, that's his diet. Okay, write all of this stuff down, and yeah, if you want the same diet as Bruce Lee, this is the stuff that he ate. Okay, so you can just write the stuff down, and yeah. So let's go over to his actual workout regiment. So, are you guys ready for this? Sit down because this is going to blow you away. We all know that Bruce Lee wasn't a regular guy. I mean, he was a battery, a non-stop battery. He just couldn't stop. The amount of energy that this guy had is just genetics. You're just either born with it or you're not. So, what he would do was clean and press, 10 sets, 10 reps, barbell curls, 10 set, 10 reps, behind the neck presses, 10 reps, 10 sets, upright rows, 10 set, 10 reps, barbell row, 10 sets, 10 reps, bench press, 10 sets, 10 reps, barbell pullover, 10 sets, 100 reps. So this is his morning routine. Um, Clean and press, barbell curls, behind the neck presses, upright rows, barbell row, barbell squats, bench press, and barbell pullover. That's his morning routine. That's just his morning routine. So yeah, 10 sets and 100 reps on most of those. Um, so yeah, further down the list we have lying triceps extensions, barbell squats, incline dumbbell curls, concentration curls, weighted push-ups, barbell curls, overhead triceps extension, dumbbell rotation, seated wrist curls, reversed wrist curls, sit-ups, calf raise, alternate splits, run in place, jump squats, shoulder cycling, circling, high kicks, regular push-ups, waist twist, side bends, ab crunches, hanging leg raises, and the vacuum. And these do not have any sets or reps. I simply couldn't find the information. It's impossible to find that information because it doesn't exist. It was never written down. But those are the stuff that it did in the afternoon and in the evening. It's incredible. I mean, it's incredible. This was his routine, and this is we haven't even gotten to the martial arts part. This is just his physical training. So that's the morning routine and the afternoon routine, and at the night he would train Jeet Kune Do, and he would do boxing, Jeet Kune Do, and other types of martial arts. He would work out with other types of martial artists like Danny Santo and Chuck Norris and those guys, Joe Louis, and he would watch a lot of martial arts footage, like boxing especially. He loved boxing. He would study boxers alongside with Joe Louis, and he would try to emulate them. And yeah, so that is the list, guys. So I did all of this stuff when I was trying to emulate Bruce Lee in my 365 days experiment. And I had to fit all of this in like 6 hours, 5 6 hours. Bruce Lee had 14 hours. He did this every day for 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, sometimes 16 hours. And in between, he would have like minimal rest periods. He would eat a lot of food, like I said, 5 6 7 times a day, mainly like rice and his supplements. And the other kinds of food that I noticed is that's not an everyday kind of food. The other that type of food, the everyday food is like the shrimp, chicken, rice, vegetables, noodles, all of that stuff. The other stuff is like maybe once or twice a week. So yeah, there you go, guys. Write all of this stuff down. And I mean, yeah, if you want to emulate Bruce Lee, that is the entire list. And this list is verified. It's verified by me. And when it comes from me, you can trust that it's 100% legit, because I've done all the research and I've actually talked to the people that knew him, that knew that he did stuff. So this is legit. Bruce Lee did this stuff. The reps, like I said, it's not always concrete. It's not always like 100% possible that he actually did those kind of reps. We don't know because it was never written down anywhere. The first sets, they were written down. The latter ones were not written down. So I simply can't find that information. But I mean, knowing Bruce Lee, I'm guessing that there were like maybe 10, 20, 50, 100 around there per exercise. Like I said, he did this for 10, 12, 14 hours every day. So it just takes time, And yeah, and don't forget those supplements, man. That's important stuff. Um, you might be thinking, well, black tea, that doesn't do much, but it does. It actually does. Go read, do the research on black tea. Everything Bruce Lee took was doing something to his body. And black tea has a lot of beneficial properties, okay? And the same with bee pollen extract, the same with all of these vitamin E's and A's and these complex that he took, the wheat germ. Yeah, I mean, all of that does something. And he would actually take high doses of vitamin C. Um, yeah, and he did not drink alcohol. He was not a fan of alcohol. And one more important thing, because my entire life I have not been a fan of dairy. I do not like dairy or cheese or anything. And Bruce Lee did not eat any form of dairy, none whatsoever. He was very, very much against dairy. So, and this is back in the 60s. He didn't know the research on dairy. And back in those days, dairy was really hardly pushed by, the dairy companies. And now we know that dairy is not good. Dairy is not good for you. It's very pro-inflammatory, and milk is for the cow's baby, the calf. It's not for human consumption. So it's very pro-inflammatory. Avoid that stuff. You can get calcium from other sources. It's bullshit. These dairy companies, they pushed dairy in the 50s, 60s, 70s like it was like gold. But now we know that dairy has a lot of downsides. So he avoided cheese and he avoided dairy. And it's the same with me. I avoid dairy, I avoid cheeses. All kinds of dairy I avoid. All kinds of gluten I avoid. And yeah, so 5, 6, 7 small meals. Rice. Remember that rice. I'm not talking white rice. I'm talking brown rice or wild rice or basmati rice. A complex carbohydrate mixed with eggs, with rice, chicken, maybe some seafood, noodles, vegetables, and you can enjoy yourself with a little bee honey and rose hip, lots of black tea, lots of magnesium and protein pills and protein shakes. You can mix it up. make your own kind of protein shake, but don't use dairy. And this myth that soy is bad for you, well, Bruce Lee proved otherwise because he ate a lot of soy, a lot of tofu, adame, and yeah, he was a big fan of soy. So I mean, there you go. Uh, I've eaten tons of soy, and I've noted no negative effects from soy at all. So I think it's bullshit that soy ruins your testosterone or whatever. I think that's just an old myth. And if you look at the research doesn't say anything that it's negative. So yeah, there you go. Bruce Lee was eating it. If it's good enough for Bruce Lee, it's good enough for me. Okay. So there you go, guys. That's his diet and that's his workout regimen. And I did this for one entire year. And I can tell you that the diet part and the supplement part, I still do that. I still take all these supplements and vitamins, and this diet is amazing. This diet is the best diet I've had ever. And the supplements, vitamins. And when it comes to the workout, of course, I had to I had to get rid of most of it because it's insane doing this for 10, 12 hours, even 5 or 6 hours. But I still do these exercises. I do them, but in a moderate way. Okay, so it's all about moderation here. So, like I said, I mean, do it at your own tempo. Do this stuff at your own tempo, and try to mix it up, like in the morning, in the evening, in the night, whatever fits you best. And make sure to have a lot of rest, relax a lot, sleep a lot, and look after your body. Listen to your body, listen to the signals your body is giving. Of course, in this entire video, I didn't bring up that Bruce Lee did take corticosteroids for his back injury, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because with or without those corticosteroids, Bruce Lee would still have done all of this. So it doesn't change anything. And it doesn't mean he's cheating or anything. It just means he had back pain, and the doctors back then, they didn't know what they were doing, so they gave him this stuff, thinking that it's completely safe. And unfortunately, it didn't end well. And of course, there's no proof that the corticosteroids did anything. But what we know that they did, that they blocked the pain. And if Bruce Lee had been in pain every day, I think he would have toned down his exercise and rested more, and that probably would have saved his life actually, because he would have taken it more easy and it wouldn't exaggerate it so much. So, okay, there you go, guys. That's it. That's the video you've been asking for so long, and yeah, I hope you guys have success with this, and just try to enjoy it. Don't think that this is something I have to do. This is something you want to do. Enjoy it. Take it at your own tempo. Like, relax. Enjoy it. This is about enjoying your life. Working out is an enjoyment for me, guys. I don't do this because I have to. I enjoy it. I love this. It's part of my life. Okay. So, okay, there you go. I'll see you guys later. Bye. I'll see you guys later. Bye. I'll see you guys later. Bye.